How's everybody doing today?
Good morning.
I think nobody's having a better day than Tiger Woods.
Agreed. Is it sustainable? I made a horrible prediction that I didn't think he'd make the cut. What do I know?
Just never underestimate him, I guess.
I should have known that.
Hey, you got to give it to the guy for trying, though. Gosh.
He's so impressive. It's unbelievable.
Imagine the rehab that he had to go through to get him to this point.
It's
Unbelievable.
ice baths last night, again this morning. I've done that once. I don't want to do it twice in a day.
That's both mental and physical.
That's right. That's more mental.
Yeah.
All right. It's the bright-eyed hour of 9 o'clock. So we're going to kick this thing off. Glad everybody's here. Thank y'all for joining us this morning on a beautiful April. It is my favorite Friday of the year. Masters Friday is awesome. So I'm sorry I'm with y'all actually in some ways, but anyway, it's good. We'll keep, I won't want to belabor that, but anyway, glad to hear. This is actually an interesting day today. This is the National All Is Ours Day. I don't know what the hell that means. I had to read it, okay? I don't make this up. This is National All Is Ours Day, takes up along 3 views of appreciation. The first approaches to the day can be looked at as a time to reflect on all of the beauty of nature and all the wonderful things in life. The second way to celebrate the day is by appreciating everything that we have. And third way is to view the day is by sharing all that we have with others. Wow. National All Is Ours Day. That's great. It's also National Zoo Lovers Day. And I can't think of a better place to go than the Riverbank Zoo for those that want to celebrate the National Zoo Lovers Day. I'll leave the other one. I just can't touch that one. That seems rather 60, 70 hippish, doesn't it? All Is Ours Day, but whatever. But zoos, just as a reminder, for those that I haven't been to the zoo in a little while, though I served on the Riverbanks Foundation for a number of years. I love the zoo, but it is our #1 ticketed attraction in South Carolina. They do a phenomenal job for as little real estate as they have. So if you haven't been out to the zoo recently, highly encourage y'all to do so. All right, news for good stuff here. Congrats to our newest Supreme Court Justice, Jackson. We appreciate her and look forward to her service. She's having a reception at the White House today, but she's actually not going to be sworn in for a few months from now. So I guess one's got to leave and she's got to wrap up court cases, but it'll take a little bit of time. But that was mighty historic. Big news on the economy front. I found some interesting facts that I wanted to share with y'all, and y'all may find this boring, but according to the United Nations, the food price index jumped 12.6% from last month, 12.5% from last month. And by the way, February's food price index was the highest since 1990. So grain prices 17% higher, primarily due to the Ukrainian conflict, because they make so much grain for Europe and Asia. But most interesting was vegetable oil saw an increase of 23% because of sunflower seeds and sunflower oil, which is used in vegetable oil. And shocker, we talked about this, Ukraine is the highest, the #1 producer of sunflowers in the world. So just Ukraine is not a huge country by any stretch, but to think that they have such an impact on the rest of the world is rather Interesting. So we'll continue to see prices up at the supermarket as well as in restaurants for the foreseeable future. Crazy thing. Now I had to read this twice because I was tempted to take a new job, but Walmart this week was in the Wall Street Journal this morning. I see some of y'all shaking your head. You read this with amazement as well. They're looking to in-house define truck drivers. So they're looking at retraining current employees and the truck drivers, and they're raising their average pay for truck drivers. You ready for this? From $95,000 to $110,000 a year. Yes, Diane, I saw that face. Yes. Can you believe that? $110,000 a year to drive a truck. Anyway, according to the National Truckers Association, truckers, they lost 4,900 jobs last month alone. So the demand is there for truck drivers, both here in South Carolina, but nationally. But if you really want a good gig, head over to Walmart, Sam's, and get a truck driver job for 110 grand a year. That's impressive. On that note, there was an interesting article earlier this week. 53% of CEOs that actually responded to a survey say they wanted their employees back in the office full time, which is at a disconnect with employees. Employees want more flexibility. Well, in yesterday's, or it may have been Wednesday's hearing on Capitol Hill, the director of the IRS says that their employees are picking up the phone 19 to 20% of the time. 5% answer rate. And by the way, whether this is direct correlation or not, 53% of their employees are working from home. I think we're going to see asterisk that one, because I do think over the next year, you're going to see a number of companies go back full time, only because their customer satisfaction plummet, or corporate culture. We talked about that. Whatever the reason, I do think we're going to have this boomerang effect for people going back in. Interesting to note, we talk about this all the time. I find this stat staggering, quite frankly. Looking at the number of ships off the coast to coincide with the truckers, Port of Long Beach still has a number of ships there down quite a bit, but they're closed for a full day because of walkout talks with the union. But anyway, they are right around, hovering around 30 ships anchored offshore, which is down from 150 or something 6 months ago. And there are currently, right today, 16 ships anchored off the coast of Charleston, which was down from 23 last month. So just interesting tidbits from a national perspective. South Carolina, this was a big week again for the General Assembly. This was crossover deadline. This is an inside baseball phenomenon, but it's they have a certain date that they have, a bill has to pass one of the two bodies in order to be considered to continue forward. So it gives both bodies time to take up legislation. So Thursday was the crossover deadline, which means some bills are dead for the year, and some actually see a little bit of life. The ones that didn't deserve it, didn't get across, are probably better off, actually, or we are better off. But a bill that one that got significant traction this week, it went without reference in the House of Representatives, which is candidly unheard of for a bill that of this substance. But the bill that would strip or reorganize the USC Board of Trustees went without reference, which means they gave it second reading, third reading without any debate at all, passed unanimously. And I can count on probably one hand how many times I've seen that happen on a bill that is this significant. I mean, they may do it for a road naming bill or something like that, but to reorganize, to disband the entire board of trustees at the flagship university without and going without reference. That tells you a whole lot. So that bill was presented by Chairman of Ways and Means Committee and the future Speaker of South Carolina, Merle Smith. Just to let you know what it does is it allows those board members up for election this year to go forward, and then they would disband it at the end of next year and reduce the number of board of trustee members from 23, 24 down to like 13. And there's some merit both sides, but anyway, just FYI on that one. Also a bill that actually is passed was a bill, they passed both, but a bill that passed this week, the anti-vaccine bill. We talked about this back in December, but it was watered down. It's basically a bill that says, as a private employer, you cannot mandate a vaccine for your employees. But if you do, and you fire them, they're able to get unemployment, which would come back and hurt your numbers. Now, it used to have penalties in place for a private employer, but they took the penalties out, they watered it down, said, it's an anti-vaccine bill, you're not supposed to do it, but if they get fired for not getting a shot, they can file for unemployment benefits. So that bill has moved on, and it'll have to go to a conference committee. Hey, speaking of the vaccine, I'm sure most of y'all have seen this, but the federal court out of Louisiana reversed its course on a Texas judicial panel, saying that Biden's federal employee vaccine mandate is still good. So they put it back in place. Texas court ruled it out. An appeals court out of New Orleans says, no, they shouldn't have done that. It's back in play. So watch out, Supreme Court. That's the next stop, I'm afraid. All right. Let's look local stuff. I mean, I didn't start with this. I should have. Go Gamecocks. I mean, what a heck of, I mean, Dawn Staley, I told you she's a badass. I love her. The most watched women's basketball game, number 4 all time. But they had over 4.9 million viewers, the fourth highest since 1996 when they started airing it. Pretty good, which is interesting because ESPN is in year 12 of a deal, of a 14-year deal that they're going to start airing, or they started airing 12 years ago, more non-big 3 sports, you know, some of the baseball, softball, women's basketball as well. It was a 14-year, $500 million deal by ESPN. And so after numbers like this, what you're going to see in 2 years is women's basketball is going to get cut out of that deal, and they're going to make their own for more money. And but all in all, that means it's great for other minor sports, but really good for women's basketball. And it was awesome weekend of play to have 3 number 1 seeds. UConn number 2. But that was a fun weekend of basketball, and excited for that. More excited for the parade on Wednesday at 6 p.m. downtown Columbia Main Street. For those that work downtown, hey Brent, I just saw you. Watch out for traffic on next Wednesday. It's going to be crazy, but it's going to start at Richland, Laurel Street, and go all the way down to the State House, and they'll have a Dawn able to speak and the team speaking at the State House soon thereafter. All right, that's that. I say this is local because we're all feeling it. Colorado State University said we're going to have an above normal year for hurricanes. I feel like they say that every year, at least the above normal, which I don't even know what normal is anymore. But 19 storms, 9 hurricanes, 4 Cat 3 or higher. And what they typically do around July is amend that number to some degree. So we'll find out what they really think. But anyway, expect some storms coming our way. Hell, after this week with all the tornadoes that we had, and we were fortunate to hear those storms that hit around Red Bank. They were looking, it's rare you hear the sirens around town, but that is a scary sound coming out. But we had a bunch of damaged homes around the state of South Carolina. So our thoughts are with those folks, but we hope the hurricanes stay somewhere else. All right. Also wanted, I mean, I joked about it earlier, but Masters is my favorite sporting event ever for great reason. Interesting numbers around there. An economist looked at Augusta, and for those that haven't been and seen it on TV, I mean, it's old school, and tickets are less than $100 a day. You can get drinks for beers for less than $5, egg salad sandwiches for $1.50. I mean, it's cheaper than McDonald's in a lot of ways, right? And an economist said that Augusta National is leaving over $269 million on the putting green reference, but meaning that they could charge so much higher, but they're not, because they're deliberate about keeping prices as low as possible for the few that actually get tickets. But it is a wonderful, I bring it up because Masters weekend is the #1 weekend for hoteliers here in Columbia. And when you have groups of 40 that come over from Europe and that they stay in hotels for an entire week, and it's interesting, there's one group that's been coming for 20 years, and they have 40 in a group, and they only have 20 badges for Augusta. So 20 go down and they rent a van from fine folks in Columbia, and they go to Augusta for the day. The other 20 stay here and play golf at a local golf course, but they're spending money. So it's a huge, huge economic win for Columbia, for geographic purposes. We're that close, but hotel rates jack up this week, and restaurants are full. So thanks, Augusta, for having such a good party down there. But we're thankful for the business, and we like going. We sent an email out yesterday. I don't know what it is, but I was looking at all the returns, out of office returns. There are a few people that should get called out for not working today, but are down, doing client development work in Augusta. All right, let's see. Also want to give out, our friends at Hotel Trundle had their 4th birthday party last night. I couldn't get over there, but happy birthday to Rita Patel for their, that's a great little hotel for anybody who hadn't been there. All right, I got to check these chat boxes. I've been talking, not paying attention. Let's see. Thanks for putting that in there, Susan. And I was there last week, but it is first pitch night at Fireflies. We're excited about that. My good friend David Looper's throwing out the first pitch from Wells Fargo, and there's fireworks tonight, tomorrow night, bunch for the kids to do. So hope y'all can get out and support the Fireflies. All right, I'm talked out. Let me have a couple. Oh, by the way, we got a golf tournament coming up, and for those that need want a prize, we got a good Yeti for you. I'm just trying it out, making sure it works. And it does. All right. What we got for y'all? What's happening in the world around Columbia? Somebody's got something good. Hey, by the way, I see Doug Meister. Doug reached out yesterday. I know I texted back, but we are trying hard to push for Richland County to amend the mask mandate. I know it's set to expire in May, but we have told them that this is costing companies money, and if they're not enforcing it, they need to retract it, because companies is costing lots of money. So we're pushing as hard as we can, Doug. We'll let you know, but there's something they're not saying, and I can't figure out what the real story is. They'll tell you something, but that's not the story. You got to dig a little deeper trying to find the real story. And I know it's tied up into some bureaucracy, but that's kind of a weak answer. So working it.
I appreciate it, Carl.
Steve, thank you. DHEC announced yesterday that COVID numbers in South Carolina are the lowest in the country. That's good stuff because as you saw, Nancy Pelosi got it yesterday, or she tested positive yesterday, and 50% of states are seeing a higher knockup. So I know it's cyclical, but we'll take it for now that we're the lowest. That's good stuff.
Hey, Carl, this is Brent Mackey.
Hey, Brent.
Just want to let everybody know the cost of money is starting to go up. The Fed will meet the first week in May, and it's anticipated they'll probably go up on rates again. So, you know, your first mortgages and your commercial money is just starting to get a little more expensive as rates start to rise. So we'll see how that impacts the economy.
It definitely will. And it is actually coming out that it was a split vote last month when the Feds raised. There was a lot of discussion about raising it a whole half point, and they backed down off that, and which I was surprised. I thought it was going up half point, but it'll definitely go up later this month too. So get the money while it's cheap. Thanks for that, Brent. What else we got?
Carl,
Hey, hello, Mr. Vance.
hey, I hope everybody's doing well. Happy Friday. This is not my furniture. I'm in a condo in North Myrtle Beach. For Hootie and the Blowfishes Monday after the Masters. So it's not Columbia, but it's got a lot of Columbia ties. This year, this is they're having the event, but no spectators, no public. So I've just been loading in and helping out with all the rentals on it. But anyway, so next year, 2023, if everyone wants to mark it down, I know it's going to come back very, very big. It's an awesome event. You can look it up at hoodiegolf.com. And they do a lot of great things for the state of South Carolina, including Columbia as well. So hope everybody has a good weekend. Thank you.
Yeah, I tell you what, I do appreciate those guys. They don't forget where they're from. So appreciate Hootie and all that they do for us. So and I think they were the 1996 Ambassadors of the Year for the Columbia Chamber, by the way. Just a useless factoid there.
Carl,
Yes.
hey, good morning to everybody.
Good morning.
Hey, just a shout out to the hospitality folks in downtown Columbia. I spent 3 days in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania last week. And everything in downtown Pittsburgh shut down at 9 p.m. If you were not in a restaurant by 8:15 seated, then you couldn't get service. And that was all over downtown Pittsburgh. So, which made it very difficult to instruct all day and then try to get out and get a meal. So kudos to our folks who have a really, really vibrant downtown. So I just want to share that.
Good comment. When you travel, it makes you appreciate what you got here, doesn't it? So glad you had a good trip. Thanks for sharing. Somebody just posted, maybe it was, but Senior Ashlyn Watkins wins the McDonald's All-American Dunk Contest from Cardinal Newman. I totally missed that. So thanks. That's good stuff.
Hey, Carl, I'd like to thank Leadership Columbia for what they're doing. They're working here at Transitions, and it's a really diverse, I mean, they're making a basketball court, they're painting the day center, they're helping us with marketing material and billboards for our adult daycare program. So, I mean, it's just a wide spectrum of things that they can do, not just one thing. So kudos to them. We're grateful that they're helping us, and they're nice when they do it, which is always a great thing too. So public thanks to them.
Yeah, thank you for saying that. This is the 49th Leadership Columbia class, and we're proud of what they do, but how Adam may say this is the best class ever, but there are a few others that are shaking their heads and saying negative, Ghost Rider. But we are appreciative of all they've done, and literally the projects they've done for the last 49 years is pretty remarkable. So anyway, thanks for saying that. All right, what else we got? All right, well, here's little scheduling update. I know this is a or this is a great Friday when I say Masters. Next weekend is a Good Friday, and our office is closed. And so I'm taking a week off. I hope y'all do as well. So we'll be back here in 2 weeks to catch up on lots of things. So enjoy it's going to be cooler weather this weekend. Carry a jacket, but enjoy it. Get something done productive, and enjoy your week next week. So we'll see you in 2 weeks. Okay. All right. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being with us in your partnership. Oh, by the way, Chamber Golf Tournament 28th. I know I mentioned that. And we've got, check our calendar events. We've got so much going on. We'd love to have you join us in person at one of our functions. So, all right. Thanks a bunch. See you soon.